Today, we're going to take a look at an ancient story of survival, a story of crisis, but we're going to view it through a really modern lens, the lens of algebra. So just imagine for a second, you are put in charge of an entire country, and you absolutely know that a devastating 7-year famine is coming. You don't have spreadsheets, you don't have supercomputers. What do? What's the plan? How do you even begin to figure out what you need? Well, it's going to sound a little strange, but the answer, or at least the tool you need to find the answer, is math. Yeah, specifically, it's the beautiful, clean logic of algebra that lets us bring order to chaos and actually plan for the future. Look, when you're up against a problem that massive, you can't just wing it. You can't guess. You need a secret weapon, a way to turn a messy, real-world story into a simple, clean mathematical statement. And for that, there are 2 key tools we've got to talk about.
First up, you've got the equation. Now, the best way to think about an equation is like a perfectly balanced scale. It's a statement of absolute fact. This side is exactly the same as that side. This is the tool you pull out when you need one single precise answer to a question.
But what if you don't need a single exact number? Sometimes what you really need is a target. You need a limit. And that is where the inequality comes into play. It doesn't say things are equal, it says one side is at least this much, or no more than that much. It sets a boundary, right? And for huge, large-scale planning, that is absolutely crucial. Okay, so how would someone like Joseph actually use these tools? Let's take this giant, scary problem called famine and do what good planners do. Break it down into smaller, bite-sized challenges that math can actually solve. So our first challenge is pretty straightforward. It's an accounting problem, really. Joseph knows how much grain he's collected over a certain amount of time, but he needs to figure out the monthly rate. And this is where the magic happens, It's seeing how a sentence, just plain language, translates directly into logic. The phrase, for 6 months, well, that hints at multiplication. The unknown thing we're looking for, the monthly amount, that becomes our variable, x. And the simple word was becomes our equals sign. And just like that, a story about grain becomes a totally solvable equation. 6x equals 240. So to solve it, all we have to do is get x by itself. Since x is being multiplied by 6, we just do the opposite to both sides to keep that scale balanced. We divide both sides of the equation by 6. And voila, there's our answer, 40. Now that's not just some random number, that's clarity. That's a fact. Joseph now knows for sure that the collection rate was 40 sacks of grain per month. It's a simple piece of information, but it's the very first step to turning chaos into a real plan. All right, that was a good warm-up. Let's make it a little more interesting, a bit more like the real world. Because let's be honest, things aren't always so neat and tidy. Sometimes you've got multiple steps, and you've even got losses to account for. So this story has a few more twists and turns, but the logic is exactly the same. We're trying to find last year's amount, so let's call that x. The story says he collected twice that, so that's 2x. But then, he lost 30 sacks, so we subtract 30. And after all that, what's left on the scale is exactly 90. So our equation writes itself. 2x minus 30 equals 90. Now to solve this, we just have to work backwards, kind of like retracing our steps. First, we add that lost 30 back to both sides of the scale to see what we had before the loss. That gives us 2x equals 120. And then, hey, this looks familiar. We just divide by 2 to find our original unknown x. And there it is, 60. So last year's collection was 60 sacks. Do you see what we just did? By working backwards with algebra, we uncovered a piece of information that was totally hidden inside the story. And that is the real power of this tool. It helps you see the numbers that aren't right there on the surface. Okay, so up until now, we've been looking backward, right? We've been doing accounting, figuring out what was collected. But the most important part of Joseph's job wasn't about the past. It was about planning for the future. And this is where we have to shift from equations to inequalities. So the key phrase here, the 2 words that change everything, are at least. He doesn't need exactly 250 sacks. He needs 250 or more. That's the signal, the flashing light that tells us to use an inequality. The plan calls for 5 times the amount used over 2 years. So if x is the yearly amount, that's 5 times 2x. And all of that, the whole shebang, has to be greater than or equal to 250. Solving this is actually pretty similar. First, we simplify things. 5 times 2x, well, that's 10x. So our inequality is now 10x is greater than or equal to 250. Then, just like before, we divide by 10 to find the absolute minimum value that x can possibly be. And this is beautiful, because it perfectly shows the power of an inequality. The answer isn't just a single number. It's a target. It's a threshold. It tells Joseph, hey, your plan has to account for a minimum of 25 sacks per year. He can collect more. In fact, more would be great, but he absolutely, positively cannot collect less. So, let's just zoom out for a second. What we've just done 3 times in a row, it's more than just a cool math trick. This skill, this ability to turn stories into symbols, is everything. It's how we translate messy, complicated, real-world problems into the clean, universal language of logic. Okay, let's take Joseph out of the picture for a moment and just look at the words themselves. Now, this might look like a problem straight out of a math textbook, right? But it's the exact same process we've been using. It's just a logic puzzle dressed up as a sentence. And check out this direct translation. 6 times a number, that's 6x. Minus 12, well, that's just minus 12. And there's that key phrase again, is at least 30, which becomes greater than or equal to 30. You see the pattern? Once you see it, you can translate almost any problem like this into something you can actually solve. So you see, this whole thing was never really just a math lesson. The real theme running through Joseph's story is about the incredible power of foresight, of being diligent, and of using the right tools to prepare for what's coming. This piece of ancient wisdom, it just nails it. Diligent planning. And that can mean using algebra to manage grain storage or just making a budget for your family. That's what leads to security, to abundance. Being hasty, being unplanned, that's what leads to crisis. Math is simply one of the best tools for diligent planning that humans have ever come up with. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Think about your own life. I mean, really think. When you're calculating if you have enough time to get to that appointment, or you're figuring out a budget for the month, or you're just doubling a recipe for dinner, where are you using this same kind of logical thinking, this hidden algebra, to bring a little bit of order to your own world? I think you'll find the principles are a lot more common than you think.